Looking through the window, see the darkness inside. This ain't no ordinary ride. It's a twisted, wild slide. Lunatics running wild. Chaos on the loose, ICP inspired. We bring it, we get you. Joshua Joseph, host of the show, ready to shock with words that leave you in disbelief. Tickling your mental block. We dive into the weird, the odd, and the strange. A podcast for the lunatics. We'll drive you insane. Niggas, get ready for the madness. ICP style. We bring the craziness. Joshua Joseph in control, takes you on a wild ride. Buckle up, my friend, and enjoy the dark side. It's time to Joseph, host of the show, ready to shock with words that leave you in disbelief. Tickling your mental blocks, we dive into the weird, the odd, and the strange. A podcast for the lunatics. We'll drive you insane. Window lickers, get ready for the madness. ICP style. Step into the ring, it's Monday Night Fire. My rhymes burn hotter than a funeral pyre. I'm the heavyweight champ, you can call me sire. Reviewing raw like a southern rap messiah. Crossing over lines like I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin. Flipping opponents like I'm Randy Orton. Dirty South flow, my words they be caustic. Every verse I drop got them head nodding. Spit lyrical punches like a ruthless fighter. Got the crowd hype, I'm the crowd igniter. Breaking down the raw matches, no denier. Dirty style rap, I'm the Monday Night Supplier.
What's up, window lickers? What's up, grunts friends, my friends, the Chaos Goblins, anybody who is joining us, the household? We're glad to see you. It's another Monday night, and you know what that is. That means we are in the Monday Night Raw preview show with the window lickers and in your house. You're here. You've made it. You've done another week. You've made the 7 days. And let me tell you, I am here with my friends like always. Everybody knows the routine. Everybody's been here before. So let's just get them out here. We got the Chaos Goblin himself. They've already messed us up here. They got us in this single stuff. See, this is just exactly why we need to get I need to get the finger button pushing right.
You just wanted to add some chaos early. I get it.
I did. You know? I got the Chaos Goblin on there, and everything went frantic.
Who says it wasn't me?
Exactly. See, now we're following into the window lickers routine. We got the conspiracy theory over here. We got the blue-eyed villain himself and the Chaos Goblin. How are you guys doing? Glad to see you back here on another Monday Night Raw preview show. How goes it, friends?
It goes. It's a Monday night.
It's a Monday night. You know what that means. 2 TVs on in my household. One watching Raw, one watching the Lions.
This is very true. Look at that. Well, you know what? Great introduction there. So let's talk about it. Grun wanted to talk a little football. So
Yeah.
Grun, let's give a rundown of what you actually wanted to talk about.
Well, I don't think I've made it a secret. I am a Philadelphia Eagles fan, and for the last couple of years, Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes have been compared in stats, and they've been two of probably overall the better quarterbacks we've seen in the NFL. However, Jalen Hurts is definitely, and the Eagles are not having a good start. However, with Patrick Mahomes 4-0, his stats. He's got 83 completions to Jalen Hurts 90, 121 attempts, 232 to Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has 930 yards compared in passing compared to Patrick Mahomes 904. Rushing 42 attempts by Jalen Hurts to Patrick Mahomes 17. Yards completed 163. But then when we go down to touchdowns, Patrick Mahomes he beat him out in touchdowns in passing 6-4. That's fair. Jalen Hurts 2-0. So that just means Patrick Mahomes isn't a runner, but that doesn't. Yeah. But I mean, then the miscellaneous, they have fantasy points, and Jalen Hurts earns 72 points per or 17.9 points per game. With 219 snaps per, 55 snaps per game compared to Patrick Mahomes 48. So I mean, like, but the actual stats, like Jalen Hurts is stats wise a better quarterback, but as we all see, Eagles are 2-2, then the Chiefs are 4-0. So so. I want to brag about the stats, but at the same time, I have to acknowledge the stats don't mean anything when you're 2-2 and the other guy's 4-0.
Yeah, and to me, like that's so wild because he's just 2-2, and Patrick Mahomes 4-0, and it's crazy because the Chiefs are so banged up.
Yeah.
So and even if you want to look at that as a whole team, like, and not just compare the quarterbacks, because I don't see where the hate's coming from when Mahomes is doing the same basic thing, and is lauded as a god simply because he's won a couple Super Bowls, which to his credit, good. Please do that for your team. But if we're looking at teams just this year, and we're looking at complete teams, like Saquon Barkley has to be talked about too, and the Eagles.
I mean, like Saquon Barkley was a fantastic pickup. And I love him. He's done fantastic. The issue with the Eagles right now is that they have two weapons currently because the Chiefs are the only one with a banged up team.
Yeah,
the Eagles.
True.
The Eagles got banged up. We got some more in the last two games, I believe. And right now, all we have Dallas Goedert and Saquon Barkley, and they do great. Problem is, they can't do it themselves, even though they do a very good job on their own.
Yeah. Well,
and maybe that's the mark of the quarterback too.
I think so. I think there's something to say. Like, you can have a great quarterback, but at the same time, like, not all quarterbacks are able to make everyone a great around them. Tom Brady was able to do that for a very long time.
Correct. And that's exactly where I went to. And then Peyton Manning as well.
Mm-hmm.
Look at him on, especially like the Broncos later on. Like, who did he have to throw to? And he still found people to throw to.
That's true. That's true. And I'd like to go upon the Saquon Barkley. He showed us that he needs somebody in front of him. And if he has a line in front of him blocking, he can make spectacular plays. I mean, the kid is phenomenal. And on the other side of that, when you go into Kansas City Chiefs, I mean, Patrick Mahomes is he's a very educated quarterback. And that's what I see of him. He understands the game. He can slip through things. He can be the utility knife that you need. But here's the other side to that. Just like you said, Kevin, he's got to have people to throw to. He's had that for a while, but some of those guys are getting older. And some of those guys, and let's just Travis Kelce, for example, he's in a position where he takes a lot of hits. I know he's physically at the peak of the mountain. He takes care of himself and everything, but we have seen tight end over tight end throughout the years, have great, like 4-year runs, maybe 3-year runs, even maybe 2-year runs. And then all of a sudden it's like those hits just take on all the impact. And it becomes something that you need to watch with your tight end, because I mean, damn, those guys take some of the biggest hits I've seen in football. And outside the kickoff return teams, and we're gonna get to you fans in there. I already see you in the chat. But yeah, I like what you guys are saying on paper. Yes, Hurts. I mean, honestly, that's who I would pick if I'm looking just at stats. That's what I'm going to pick. But when you would add in all the other elements, Patrick Mahomes, I lean more on. He's been to the dance before. He's been there, and like you said, Kevin, he's got a lot of injuries on his team. The whole team as a whole is pretty banged up right now. So I don't see Kansas City winning this year. I don't either.
But I said that the last 2 years.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I have too. But this year, I fucking hate to say this.
Oh.
But I think it could be somebody near me who wins this. And it's not Chicago, so don't even think I'm going there. I know y'all know I'm a Chicago fan. I'm not going there. But I could see the Vikings.
The Vikings doing it.
Yes.
The way that they're playing with the momentum they have.
That will make me Kurt Cobain myself quicker than any other team winning, just because that was my dad's favorite team growing up, and I never fucking understood it. And he could never explain to me why he was a Vikings fan. He was like, I just like them. So explain to me why. I can tell you why I love the Bears. You can't tell me why you like the Vikings. What the fuck is going on here? So, but they do have a excellent team this year. Mm-hmm. And they've had good teams the past few years, but it seems like this team everybody understands their assignment, and it seems like they can get pretty deep this year. Kevin, is there any other things you want to bring up with the football?
Well, we were talking running backs. I just want to hit this real quick because I'm in an 18-team guillotine league, and I don't know if anyone knows what that means, but if you're the lowest scoring points that week, your entire team gets put to the free agency and you lose. It's a really cool concept. God. I love it. So every week someone is eliminated.
Damn.
That's insane.
And shout out to my man, Derrick Henry, for single-handedly keeping me in. 200 yards rushing, 2 TDs.
Wow. Yeah, you gotta love that, especially when one guy keeps your dick out of the fire, so to speak. Jeez, man. What kind of league are you playing in?
Oh my, Chaos League. We literally called it the Chaos League, and I'm like, oh my God, it works so well for me.
Yeah, that is chaos.
That's insane.
And then when those people go to the free agency, you all have a bid pool. So you start out with $100, like to bid on players, and then you have to bid over people in order, like an auction style, in order to get the players from their team. It's wild. But my drafting strategy is currently working. With my 2 running back core of Kyren Williams and Derrick Henry, who I don't know how I got both of them in an 18-team league. But
yeah, that seems pretty wild to even get, one of those guys, unless you're high up on
pick 18.
Yeah. Okay, so that even blows my mind even more.
So I back-to-back drafted him because we do snake draft, but still,
yeah.
How did both of them get there?
No, I get what you're saying. And it seems like today is Happy International Podcast Day, fellas.
Ooh,
we got one from the boss house jumping in. It's the Concept House. Great of you to jump in here. Mm-hmm. Annie O, she let us know same thing, man. It's a Happy International Podcast Day. And we also got the Lou. He was going wild for your fantasy league there, Kevin. That blew his mind there for
honestly,
a second.
If anyone can or anyone wants to throughout the years, I suggest doing it. It's so much fun.
Yeah, that does sound like it adds an extra element.
It's very stressful Sundays, but it's very fun.
We got Ken watching. Thank you for the watch, Ken. We appreciate it. And we got to bring him up. He's our buddy. Hypocrisy Jones coming in, letting us know, what up, fam? How goes it, Jones? We know you're out at the softball field, so have a great one. Hope your kiddos win, man. And one more from Annie O. Time to lick some windows, fellas. And she is correct. It is time to lick some windows. Are you fellas ready for this? We got 4 topics I think that are going to spark a lot of conversation in our chat, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun with these ones because we have our 2 topics that we talk as a group. We talk all of these as a group, but this is more like your general things that I feel that you guys should be watching. And then Kevin has his own subject, and so does Grun. So we're going to bust in with just a general one for right now. And I think this one will bring up some talk. So here we go, everybody. We want to talk about, do we need Rey's advice? Rey Mysterio stepped out, and he kind of let the New Day know his advice. And I kind of liked what Xavier said. Maybe you should go and give your advice to Dominic, be a dad, go do that. I thought that was pretty clever. But the reason I'm asking this question, and anybody can jump in on this right when I finish this, the reason I'm asking this is, to me, as a fan of A, WWE as a whole, and B, Rey Mysterio, this just seems like they are pushing him into a topic. And before I go any further, I just seen this in the chat. Apparently Pete Rose just passed away.
Yeah, so I found a couple articles, TMZ, iHeart, literally posted within the last 15 minutes.
Wow.
It's Pete Rose, baseball legend and infamous legend.
Yeah.
Has passed away.
Man.
I believe I saw Dikembe Mutombo also passed away earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, I seen House say something about that. Wow. The guys that we kind of seen growing up are kind of leaving us. I mean, that I don't mean to hit a sour note here, but he was getting ready to play or come and speak in November, and I was saving up to get a ticket to go watch him talk.
Damn.
Well, man, well, Pete Rose, hell of a baseball player, man. Hell of a baseball player. Yeah, hell of a personality too. I mean, wrestling legend.
Yeah.
Him and Kane had some
I remember him
moments.
and Kane's feuds. Yeah.
Yes, I mean that was fun. That was
he came out in the chicken suit once, right?
Yes,
yeah,
he did.
to fuck with Kane. Yeah.
Fantastic. I don't think Mutombo ever did anything with the WWE.
No,
that'd be a little difficult. That dude was.
But he was definitely one of those guys that he got over outside of basketball just with his block taunts.
Yes.
Like you saw him on commercials and it was everywhere. And it's to this day, I see people, I don't even think they know where it came from at this point, because younger guys and younger students do it, or younger kids do it.
I never thought of that.
Like no.
Yeah.
They still do that. Yeah. But they don't know where it originated from. Like his legacy has gotten further than his name value.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's wild.
Yeah, that is wild. I mean, I'll tell you this, if you see me in public and you decide you're going to shoot a wadded up piece of paper at a trash can, I'm going to block it, and I'm going to give you the Dikembe right to your face. No. So I mean, some sports legends have gone on to greater skies. So, well, let's keep this talk going. It's sad to see this, but as we keep moving on, Pete Rose would want us to keep moving on, and so would Mutombo. So where we were at, we're just discussing this. Like, does it feel to you guys that they're forcing Rey into this storyline? Does it feel organic to you guys? Because I'm telling you right now, from the Voice's point of view, it does not. It does not feel organic at all.
I do think it is being forced a little bit. I think part of the problem is that they're trying to do something with the LWO, but the LWO is kind of dead in the water. I was just thinking about this that Joaquin Wild, he was Zima Ion in TNA and was a former TNA X Division champion and I believe a former TNA tag team champion too at that. So it's like, and he was pretty over in TNA. So it's like, this is a guy that we know can wrestle. We know he can talk on the mic, but he's been ridiculed to the silent tag team guy.
Yeah.
I think it's tough with LWO because with the whole split with Legato as well, it felt like both of them didn't. It was like it was warring, like Latin American based factions, but it didn't really peak to get either of them more over.
Yeah.
So they've both been stuck picking up the pieces ever since. Because like Santos Escobar was even in a better place months ago than he is right now. And maybe they're waiting. Maybe they have something in the works. Maybe I don't know. I think the Ray part to this, just to get back on the topic though, I think the LWO part to this has roots in making sense.
Okay.
Just because they did have issues with Judgment Day, so it's natural that they could get brought into something if Judgment Day is a thing with New Day. So they did set those seeds. Were they strong seeds and roots? Probably not as strong as they could have made, but it at least, I see where the train of logic was.
Okay.
I just don't. If this is the avenue to break up New Day, is that Xavier Woods is frustrated at all the baby faces for trying to help them, I don't know if that's a strong enough reason. It needs to be more within the group, in my opinion, and we're starting to see that. So I'm not saying it isn't getting there, because we're starting to see the frustrations boil over. We're starting to see little hints, and it's very clear that they're trying to take their time with this to make it meaningful. I just don't know exactly what they're trying to do, which, in fairness, could be a good thing or a bad thing. We don't know until we see it. It's very this one is going to be very hindsight is 2020, I think.
Okay.
Either we're going to look back at all of this and say, "Wow, they did it," or we're going to look back at all of this and go, "Uh-oh."
So you're right now 50-50. It's going to either go one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you, Kevin, though, with your expertise and Grun, I'll get your fandom on the other side of this. How do you, with what you know about the business, fix the LWO?
It depends. And this is me just looking at it as a business, because you can't push everyone at once.
Yes.
And there is a lot of TV time already getting taken. So as far as fixing the LWO, I don't know if they want to. I think they have something right now that they can use. And then if it gains traction or they have an idea for them later, I think it's easy to build them up as long as you start giving them wins, as long as you start putting them in something meaningful. Like if Judgment Day, after they're done with Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest, they just do like a 4-month feud with LWO, it could raise their stock depending on what they do.
Okay.
But this hit or miss kind of stuff with LWO, where they're just kind of side characters and everything, that's not generally how you want to build up someone. That's how you accentuate someone else. You use side characters in a play so that your main characters look better. That's how plays have always been written from Shakespeare on, or whoever wrote Shakespeare's plays, whatever you want to subscribe to on that. But regardless, because I'm no historian, side characters are used to accentuate the plot and to move the main cast forward. Yeah. That's how LWO's role has looked so far.
Yeah. And to me, yes, we understand that you have a role in that, but you're also supposed to not let it look so obvious.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And I don't know. To me, that's kind of what I get when you have New Day backstage talking, and then Ray and LWO slide up. Like, I mean, it just, I don't know. It just, there,
Because the story isn't about them. It's about New Day. The
yeah,
main story is about New Day. It's not about
yeah,
LWO.
you got
So
me. You got
LWO
me
have to
there.
wait their turn so that they can get the TV time. There are like 3 feuds probably about to end. They could be slotted into one.
So
But
this is more of a let's wait and see situation for you. Okay.
yeah, it's more
So
of a let's see where they go.
okay. That's a fair assessment for this one. So Grun, in your eyes as a fan, is there a fixing of the LWO? Are you in the same boat with Kevin? You're just waiting because you know it's either going to happen this side or this side. Let us know what you think, Grun.
I think I'm gonna be in the same boat as Kevin because I'm thinking, okay, turning Rey Mysterio heel is never going to work. If you have LWO turn on Rey, that doesn't necessarily put them at a stronger point. If you start pushing them really hard, like it's gonna come out of nowhere, fans are probably not gonna buy into it. So I think right now just make them that low Carter that works their way up and gets some wins, and then eventually convince the crowd, convince the fans that LWO as a faction means something more than than just a forgotten faction from WCW.
Okay. Okay. So you're going to take more of the approach of like organic growth
Hmm.
with a group, and letting the matches speak for themselves, and then that carrying on into a storyline, and then hooking the fans. Am I
Yeah,
wrong in that, Grunt?
no, I can't see. That seems like the best plan.
Okay.
Here's a question. Ray doesn't have that many years left in him.
No.
Very
I don't
true.
think he can. There's no possible way he has that many years left in him for the style that he uses. His knees have to be shot based on what I know about wrestling.
Yeah.
Is LWO going to be better off when Ray retires and then Dragon Lee can be the leader of it? Will that make him feel more important and in better positions? Or are we just going to go over like a fart in church? Because that's the current situation that we're going to run into with LWO.
I th- I think the plan could be if Rey Mysterio is going to retire in the next year, and I think it does need to be within the next year if this plan is going to work. Andrade and Penta and Ray come in. They take and now Ray and Penta they don't need to be winning tag team championships
No.
throughout their they don't like they just need to be able to be there and be entertaining. But at the same time, like that's an opportunity to have them pass on their tag team knowledge to Joaquin and Del Toro, and make and now we have Andrade's cartel team, cartel stable. Well, and and in that case, you can turn them all heel if you want, and it would work because it's breathing new air into their careers, especially Joaquin, Toro, and Zelina, who while Zelina has been featured a little bit more, like I still wouldn't say that her career is taking off. Like she's just been getting more TV time.
And I think there's still a lot of upside to Zelina. I
Mhm.
think she's got enough of a good package as a not necessarily a female luchador, but that's the style that she kind of wrestles is that lucha style ish, where she gets a bit more high flying with things and does a bit more things with it. Uh, I think there's still a lot of upside to Zelina. I'm not sure how old uh, Joaquin Wild and Cruz are though. So I don't know how much upside there is to invest in a lot of future because
That's a
I'm
good
I'm just
point.
not sure how old they are. So it could be one of the situations, because I've seen this happen in wrestling too, where you have, older statesmen and, they're journeymen in the business, but the journeyman part to that is that they don't really go past that midpoint, and that's where they kind of peak. And that's
Gotcha.
okay. They're making their money. Like I can't stress enough, like being a mid card in the biggest federation in the world is still good money and is still a good career. No matter
Very
who
true.
wants to pitch it to you that it's bad, I promise you, it's still good money and it's still a good career. Especially if you're if you're there for a long standing time. But it just means like maybe they aren't going to be the top echelon teams, and that's okay. They don't reach, the Dudley boys where they're having reigns upon reigns. It doesn't mean that their career is bad, and it does mean though that they probably don't need to invest a ton. They can get out of them what they need, which is guaranteed high flying action every single time that looks amazing. Different kind of creative spots that they get, especially out of Joaquin Wilde. If anyone's going to do anything other than Dragon Lee, I think it's Joaquin Wilde by himself, not as a tag team.
Wow. I agree. So I do have Joaquin Wilde's age. He is 37 years old.
Ooh.
Del Toro is 33. And because I was curious, Penta is 39.
Yeah, Penta's old. Well, older, not old.
Yeah, older. I like.
But
So
in
I definitely
yeah,
in old. Yes, I agree that in this business, 39 that's old. I would put him at least 40 or over 40. I would not. I did not realize he was only 39, and Ray Phoenix is 33.
So Ray Phoenix is probably who they want to invest in.
I think so. Yeah.
I think that's who it's going to be, him and Dragon Lee. Those are going to be their luchadors going forward.
Probably.
I think Cruz will probably have an offset to the side. And he'll continue to be employed. But I think if they're going to look at people to invest in the future out of all of this LWO and potential people of, Latin American descent and things to push into luchador kind of spots, it's going to be Ray Phoenix and it's going to be Dragon Lee.
Yeah.
Maybe Santos Escobar, but I think you keep him without the mask because he's better at it. He's better without it than he was with it.
That makes sense. That really does make sense. And we're going to move on to the next one here. That was a great discussion, though, and I think we got a lot to go off of. Definitely some more. I would like to get into the Zelina talk a little more because I liked what Kevin brought up, but we'll get back to that on another episode. So, Kevin, we're going to jump into your topic because I think this is going to be the home run hitter of the whole episode, because this is going to be
before I reach.
You gotta stretch, man. Stretch before you reach, because this one's a good one. And here we go. Kevin, this is what you wanted to discuss.
I would like to discuss what happens next with Bron Breakker. So what I say by that, and we have to start somewhere. So this is where I'm going to start and throw it to you guys immediately. Jey Uso beat him for the Intercontinental title after, I think it was less than 2-month reign. Was it the right call?
I'm gonna say it was, because if we go back, I wanted to see Bron Breakker get a long undefeated streak and long title reign, and it was the entirety of In Your House. I was saying, well, no, you don't need to do that because you can speed it up. I think it was Tony specifically from the In Your House house call. Tony said you don't need to. Yeah, you don't need to do that because with Bron Breakker, he's already got the in-ring ability. He's got the mic skills. He knows how to work the crowd. He has the intelligence that you dream of having in a young professional wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
so that you can afford to give him these losses because he'll figure out a way to rebound and to keep the interest of the crowd. So I think they looked at this and thought, if we do this, Braun can rebound. If Jay loses, I don't know if we can rebound.
And that's kind of where my head was at when I saw it happen. Is exactly that. Was who can afford to eat the loss more now that they've set it up? And boy, Jey Uso was not the top of that list. It was Braun.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we discussed it, I believe, even on here. The whole moniker of main event Jey Uso and him not living up to that, and you know, the story's never panning out for that. But I like exactly where you guys are at with this, and my mind's in there too with Braun being able to rebound from it. But here's my whole issue is, what are they going to do with Jay? So he's got this title. Okay. So he's proven this title. So he's going to have to lose it if he's going to step up to the next level. But like
so then
Jay... go ahead, Kevin.
Instead of giving Braun Breaker the long run like we were talking about, do you give it to Jay? Because then Jay is proving something. He's proving that he can hold a championship for a long time. I'm not saying he's got to break any Gunther records.
Okay.
But if you give him a 6-month run and then he loses it at Mania, or maybe loses it at Royal Rumble to set up more bloodline stuff later on, even a 3-month run can start proving points depending on who he beats.
But
I guess that's the thing, though, is who are you going to match him up with? Who is the strong heel that you're going to match him up with? Because it's got to be someone strong. He has to get good wins. So who do you put into that position? You could bring in an up-and-comer like a Pete Dunne now that he's potentially done with Sheamus. But is that a good win for Jay? If we're doing this in service of pushing Jay, it has to be someone who can feud with him and eat that loss. Like, I'm going to throw out a name, but I'm not saying I agree with it, but like a Drew McIntyre after he's done with that feud.
Okay.
And then McIntyre not being able to go after the world title for whatever reason. He goes after a different one. It has to be someone that Jay can beat.
See, when you said that, my mind instantly went to Ludwig. I think a young up-and-comer like that, who's proven himself in matches and being able to take on some of the biggest competitors out there, he would be my guy that would prove to me in one of Jay's defenses that Jay is the main event that he claims he is. But I like where you're going though, Kevin, because that would cement for me a longer 6-month, 3-month run with Jay would cement a little more of this idea with him. Pete.
Ooh, that's a wild one from Annie. Hold on. I see one coming up. Chances of a Sami Zayn turn and then he goes after the IC title. I
can see it.
I think it's low right now, but I'm not saying it's impossible in the long term.
Not right now. I think this is something you build up for maybe a Royal Rumble match or
a Mania. They're friends.
Maybe.
Mania match. They are friends. They would be former tag partners at that point who have gone after Tag Gold. Like, there's a built-in story there. If you're going to turn them, you better make it meaningful.
Okay, so for both of you, that scenario is a good landscape for the main event Jey Uso IC title run.
Or at least a potential road.
Yes.
Okay, I like it. And Annie did let us know that it was 51 days of Braun Breaker as IC champ. So
and just because we got off of it a little bit, we got into Jey Uso instead. I want to bring it back to Braun for just a second before we move on. Where does he go?
Go ahead. Where does Braun go?
I think Braun. I think Jey Uso's first title defense will be a rematch against Braun Breaker, because I don't think Braun is going to just take that loss and just say, okay, I'm going to go do something else. I think he's saying, no, that's bullshit. That's my title. Give it back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We got Joseph Nax coming in, or Naka. Yeah, Naka. Feed J Chad Gable. All
you
right.
could.
I mean,
Chad,
you could.
Chad
You
would make
definitely
anyone
could.
look good. It would work. I don't know if it would be a service to Chad Gable, though, especially after his faction just got dominated left and right by the Wyatt Sticks. I think he's still in rehab.
Yes.
But one did come to mind. Jay is intertwined in this Judgment Day stuff. It's not going to be Finn because he's with Damian. But what about Dom?
What about
Dom's
Dom?
a strong enough heel.
I think that could work.
Yeah. Dom is a strong enough heel that you could push Jay further.
Let's put a pin in this one because I think we need to have a longer discussion.
We need another discussion on this.
Yeah, on this specific one. This was a good one. And like I said at the beginning of the show, we're 20 minutes out before we send you off to Raw. But I said that a lot of these subjects are going to spark some conversation, and they are doing just that. So, Grun, what happens next. We just give Kevin his topic. We're going to give you your talk. We are going into Grun talk. So, Grun, here you go. Let them know what we're talking about.
Well, we are talking about Sami Zayn and his pursuit of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And last week on Raw, he had to compete or fight against Ludwig Kaiser. And he was able to pick up a win, although Ludwig did not exactly make it easy for him.
No,
Gunther comes out. No. Gunther comes out and leads us all to believe that he's finally going to accept Sami Zayn's challenge, but not just at any time. Right there in Toronto or wherever they were.
Ontario.
Yeah,
it was Ontario.
Okay.
Wait, Calgary?
No, I think it was Ontario.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Canada. We're American.
It was in Canada. You guys are big. There you go, Grun.
Sorry.
We fixed it.
Well, sorry, Canada.
We sure didn't, but that's all right. We're gonna keep going.
Obviously, Gunther once again said no. Ottawa. Okay. Thank you, Joseph. So I don't know. I imagine tonight on Raw, Bad Blood is this Saturday. I imagine Adam Pearce is going to tell Gunther that, well, look, I need to give you a challenge. We need you to compete.
And he's bored at work.
Hey.
That was
I like that, Andy. I like that.
You broke Grun. Thanks a lot, Annie. I got to get this guy through his topic, his own topic. She's out here making Canadian puns.
I believe that tonight we will see Adam Pearce tell Gunther, like, dude, you have to defend the title, and it's going to be against Sami Zayn. Gunther's going to bitch and ask why. Well, here's why. It's because he beat your guy last week. So he's the only one with the best reason why he should fight you. And it's that he beat your guy.
Fair point.
Which continues to grow the seeds of dissension between Gunther and Ludwig.
Yes. Because then ultimately that would put Ludwig as the one bringing opponents to Gunther as opposed to Gunther getting his opponents, So I like that. Kevin, where's your mind at with Grun's talk?
I like that because it essentially makes Ludwig the gatekeeper role.
Yeah.
And that means people are going to start knocking at the castle. And I think if you really want to push Ludwig, this is an interesting way to do it. Because most of the time when you have a gatekeeper role in wrestling, look at your Dolph Ziggler's, look at it's just the veterans that are there to make sure that the next in line looks good. Ludwig, they could do it in a different way where he's gatekeeping, but he's actually kicking away some of them. And that would help push Ludwig, but then he eats the loss every so often too. Because if you just have Ludwig be the henchman where he just keeps getting his bell rung by every challenger that goes to Gunther, eventually we're going to think less of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's too talented, as we've spoken about ad nauseum before, to do that.
Yeah.
I think he has too much future for their card that it just doesn't make sense. And we talked weeks ago, bring this up again. We talked weeks ago that we didn't think Sammy looked like a challenger. Now look at us sitting here.
Yeah.
They did it.
Yeah.
Now he looks like a challenger because he's hunted dragons. So I think they have made Sammy into a stronger contender over those weeks since we last spoke on this heavily.
Very true.
And I think they have a unique chance with Ludwig to break the mold just a little bit with the trope, kind of turn it on its head ever so slightly. He doesn't need to be a world beater. Like, he doesn't need to beat away main event talent. But once someone beats Ludwig, the first thing I would look at is, oh, I just got to beat him? Then I get a world title match? So why aren't some like mid-carders currently, or even lower card guys, trying to knock down the door and then Ludwig pushes them away?
I like that. Grun, go ahead and bring up Annie's comment again, because I like this. Go ahead and let us know what Annie's talking about, Grun.
Yeah, so Annie is talking about, is it possible for Kaiser to be separated from Gunther without a face turn? Can he still be heel while that happens? I think so. I think it's very, because I mean Gunther kind of was separated from Ludwig and Giovanni for like, they were still all in Imperium, but there was a separation where Ludwig and Giovanni, they were doing their thing while Gunther was doing his, but they were still a unit. So I think it's very possible that you can separate Kaiser from Gunther, have him do his own thing while Gunther handles being world heavyweight champion.
And I think you can do that with a draft as well. That's the easiest way to not have to turn anyone.
Yeah.
It feels cop-outy, but at the same time, it gives different opportunities and it switches up cards. So I don't see a reason to turn Ludwig face. I really don't. After like really surmising it. Could you? Sure. I'm sure he'd do well in the role. But he looks like a dude I want to punch in the face.
Yeah,
so
he does.
Why am I taking away his natural born, his God-given look?
Yeah.
By making him
the God-given smugness.
Yeah, exactly.
Would that be, though, like in a normal day environment, working harder, not smarter? Because if you take that natural ability away from him, you're making it more of an uphill climb for him. Because what if he doesn't get over? What if he doesn't get over as a face? And then he's, maybe, viewership's going down when he's on television. And then now we've lost him. So, but I don't think that would ever happen with him. I just don't think
they're going to do that.
Yeah, he's too good. And it would not make real sense to make him face.
I think there's one way. I think there's one way you do it. And I think now Tiffany has revealed that behind the scenes, Ludwig is a goofy kind of guy. So I think you can play into that. I think Tiffany and Ludwig on screen could be the upgrade version of Miz and Maurice.
Okay. I was just about to bring up Miz as the template for what Ludwig would be as a face.
I like that so much, Grun, that's going to be a future topic we talk about. Because honestly, we're in the age where we're getting to know more about them outside of the ring. And I've heard this multiple times, and there could be a chance that the royalty of the WWE with Miz and Maurice, because I mean, come on, tell me they're not. I mean, they even though you may not like the Miz's character while he's in a ring, I dare you to watch anything with him outside of the ring, just being normal and not like the guy. The guy is so down to earth, just a really good guy. He is still the Miz, though, so you can hate him. It is perfectly okay to hate him.
I have so much respect for the Miz, speaking as a wrestler and a worker, because when's the last time you heard Miz was injured?
Yeah.
And why is it never? He has consistently shown the only time he goes off is to make more publicity and money for the company. He never goes off because he's injured. And that's because he works a style that works. Is it always the most exciting? No. He takes the big bumps when he has to. But he works a style that he can work day in and day out. He could work a house show. He could work 300 days a year, and he will still not be injured. He might be banged up, but he won't be injured. He's not on the shelf. He works a style that works every single time. He's much like Randy Orton, except Randy Orton has perfected it, and Miz is just so close.
Yeah. Oh, very true. Yeah. I mean, I've honestly been watching the Miz since the Real World. I remember watching him in that. So it's kind of really cool to see a guy go from a drunken character that he developed in college to actually being like somebody that, you know, we kind of look into, and I still stay tuned to a Miz segment. I like what he does. I've always liked what he did. I mean, you know, minus a couple of the first characters that came out with the Miz. But this one, the iteration we have now, I thoroughly enjoy.
That's another topic that's rife for discussion, and how to give Miz a run, but we should probably move to the last topic because we've had great discussion.
We've just added on to more discussions on the discussion that we were talking
found
about.
Next show today.
All right, fans. So this is the last topic. This is more just to get everybody in the end of the mood. We're about 9 minutes away before we send you on Raw, but I need to ask you, because do sewer rats actually have intelligence?
Ooh.
Because here's my reasoning.
A sewer rat died on his face.
Something did. Here's my question, though, because Liv tried to make it seem that she was way more intelligent than Rhea, and that's how she got her title. And that may be true. The stats may appear on the paper that way, but she also left her face wide open for a gnarly headbutt. Like, I think that headbutt might have connected a little too much, or Liv's just an amazing actress, and I have no clue what I've been missing with Liv Morgan. But I think she was a little out there with that one.
I felt that headbutt in my soul.
Well, let's also spell this out. We have an Australian woman who's prone to being a badass, and a chick from New Jersey. Now,
a sewer rat from New Jersey, yeah.
Yeah. Go on.
Now look, New Jersey and New Jerseyers and New Yorkers have a tendency for believing that they are tougher than nails. They're tougher than everybody else around. So I would believe that Liv could have said in the back, no, hit me with a headbutt, I'll be fine. Hit me hard.
Not realizing that Aussie is coming in with hot fire.
Yeah. I mean, Rhea grew up fighting kangaroos and giant spiders, and
I was about to say kangaroos is probably one of the least of her concerns.
Well, you know, she had to learn how to dodge the kicks.
She's in the land of dinosaurs. She's in the land where history forgot.
Here we go. We got Annie coming in. The headbutt heard round the world, and it was heard round the world.
Yeah.
She connected on that one. Joseph, our new our new fan, he loves Liv, and I was kind of hesitant on doing this last one just because he's a new fan. I was like,
You
yeah.
know what?
So
I like. I'll put over Liv for a second. I love Liv's work in all of this. Oh my god, do
she's
people
doing great.
organically hate her now? She's the most over heel female, I think, on the roster.
Yeah,
Probably.
Oh,
I don't think I can point to another one that's more over.
I
Because
could
who are your
easily
other
say that.
options for heels? You have the Pure Fusion Collective. They get some heat, sure, but it isn't as nuclear as Liv by any means. Nia Jax, who is closer, but probably not close to Liv.
No.
And then like everybody else.
Yeah. Oh, you're right, man. You are 100% on that one, Kevin. And Grun, where's your mind on that? Exactly what Kevin just pointed out. I mean, we're sitting here. Is Liv the ultimate female heel?
I think right now
currently.
Yeah.
I think right now she is the top female heel in WWE right now. You have prospects in NXT. You have prospects with Jade and Bianca, but with Jade and Bianca, it's a more of an issue of it. They're not at the point yet where either of them need to be heel.
Yeah.
We're getting there, but neither of them are at that point. And the soap opera drama that they were doing with Judgment Day and Liv Morgan for months, and that continues to exist, has.
Speaking of living together.
Yeah.
Okay. But the soap opera drama has really within Judgment Day really has captured a lot of fans and has got everyone tuning into Raw. And
100.
I mean, like, yeah, that's kind of what they call pro wrestling. It's soap opera for men.
Most definitely it
I think
is.
that's accurate.
Yeah. I have no problem admitting that either. It's amazing. I love it.
It's a good.
I'm watching the
description.
stories.
Yes, exactly. Speaking of that, we're 4 minutes till our stories.
Our stories are coming on.
So fans. And here comes Annie again, bringing in more freaking questions that are just keeping the show going. Do you all think this feud goes past Bad Blood?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. You know what? I'll separate for two. I think Damian and Finn do for sure.
Okay.
Because this will be they're finally having their match at Bad Blood, right? I'm not hallucinating. Or have they not?
No, you're not hallucinating. It is happening.
Oh yeah, thank God.
It is happening.
Okay. They're gonna have another match, I think.
Okay.
I don't think it ends there for Damian and Finn. That being said, I don't know where it goes for Rhea yet.
I like that.
My assumption, because I think this would be one of the better case scenarios, instead of having Damian and they could still do the, the twin terrors and stuff, the Terror Twins, that's it. They can still do the Terror Twins. But Damian's got to go off and do his own stuff. Like, they can still be together and they can still help each other out. But I think they need to be in different matches.
Oh, that's fair.
But Jey Uso, if he's going to be with Dom, they could do mixed tag matches there.
Yeah.
There's a way to figure that in.
There is. There really is. And I think we're getting close to that. Grun, do you have any last points on that before we give everybody their goodbyes?
No.
Grun's a no. All right. Yeah. Well, Grun, with that, why don't you let the fans know where they can find that blue-eyed villain himself, the Grunmeister?
You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Grunmeister this Friday at about 3 p.m. Eastern. I will be doing a co-op stream with my buddy Boffman, who's also a Twitch streamer. We're co-oping Lords of the Fallen, the remake.
Ooh, exciting.
It should be painful. He doesn't know what he's doing. I'm just going to jump into it blind and hope that I can guide him to whatever hell we're walking through.
We'll go find Grun and all that chaos he's doing over there. out on his Twitch channel. And Joseph, just to let you know real quick, no, we you can actually catch us. We'll catch our team on Wednesday for the what I'm sorry, what's it called? The
Raw Deal.
Yes,
House
there we
and
go.
O'Neal.
I'm trying to read Annie's. I'm trying to read all these. Yes, the Raw Deal with House and O'Neal. All right, Kevin, you let them know where they can find you.
Absolutely. You can find me at twitch.tv/Kevin Calloway Pro. Throughout October, I've been real sketchy on streams recently just because of other things going on in my personal life. But through October, I know I'm planning a Silent Hill remake playthrough.
Ooh.
And I'm very passionate about putting that on stream because I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And then throughout October, I'll probably end up picking up more horror games because that's what I want to do.
Sweet.
I also have a show coming up Friday. I am facing Xander Bennett because he needs to learn today at For Us Wrestling on Friday at Grizzlies and Wyandotte. And then anyone in the area should go check out Emerge on Saturday too, because Emerge's card looks stacked. I will be there in attendance. I am not booked, but I will be there in attendance supporting IYH and getting some content of my own.
Beautiful. That sounds fantastic. Go see what Kevin's out there doing. The Chaos Goblin himself, Kevin Calloway, and enjoy what he's out there doing. I've sat in on a couple of his streams, and there's some fun stuff. He's got a great community to follow him, and he always plays really fun games. But ladies and gentlemen, you need to join us next Monday. Same place, same time, right here on this Twitch channel. The Voice, Joshua Joseph, part of the In Your House Network. You're going to see the Monday Night Raw preview show with me, the Blue-Eyed Villain, and the Chaos Goblin, where we give you 3 subjects. And then we talk. Well, you know what? We do 2 subjects now. And then 2 of their subjects, I let the co-hosts have their own. They steer the ship and we have some fun. You can also catch exactly what we talk about. You know, you can hit it up on Wednesday and see if we were right with the Raw Deal with House and O'Neal. That is the Concept Alicon House and Annie O'Neal out there doing divinely divine things. You know, that's a lot of D's in that one. So go out there, check out what they're talking about. You'll have fun. You can also catch Kevin Calloway and the most dangerous podcaster out there himself, Paragon. And you could talk all things with them with Dear Pro Wrestling, where they give the young guys out there getting in this, and maybe some older guys who might need to retake some notes, some tips on what to do in pro wrestling with every situation coming at you. And then on Friday, it is me and House, and we go extreme. We take you back in ECW's time warp, and we find some matches that you might like to see. But right now with that show, we are on the storyline. So come join us for some ECW Hardcore TV. That is me and the Concept House. And ECW, who wouldn't love that? Blood, table, violence, barbed wire. That's all the things I love. But when you're ready for after that, you go to Grun's room and see what he's doing. He's talking SmackDown. You always find some shit in Grun's room that you might not want to take home because it's sticky and it's going to ruin shit at your house. But then after that, you take your break, take your Saturday break, and join the whole team when everybody's available for the Sunday house party, where we just talk wrestling, everything that happened that week. And sometimes we just talk whatever we want to talk about, and the fans jump in. So that is all of our shows that you can go out there and see. Forgetting one, the Smoke Sesh. Every time you want to see it, well, you got to wait until Hypocrisy Jones drops it. And that's sporadic because sometimes he forgets, because look at the title. Jeez, it's the Smoke Sesh with Hypocrisy Jones. So go check that out. Check out all the content we're producing out there. And you know what, fans? Raw has already kicked off. It's already 3 minutes into it. I know you're like, Voice, shut the fuck up. We already know what you've already said. So ladies and gentlemen, we absolutely love you. We absolutely adore that you come and join us. And until next time, we will see you on the flip side.
With O'Con in your house, Hollywood in your house, Hypocrisy's head in the clouds, curating all kind of loud, that's in the front of the crowds, Paragon's holding it down, anybody can get it, come to us for your illusion of pain, audience, we got a voice. There is no choice. We use them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast, it's like cruiserweight action. Your house is a perfect distraction. Pump us in your ears when you in traction. Keep this work with some wrestling action.